world is a global village. Millions of people across the world move outside their native countries to seek for better opportunities. Hundreds of Ugandans have also migrated abroad to seek greener pastures. In this competitive world, they eke a living to make ends meet and also send money to their relatives back at home.
I was born in Uganda. I've lived in Sweden for almost 30 years now.
I work and I reside in Norway, in the capital Oslo.
I am a pastor for the last 23 years in Sweden, in a city called Gothenburg.
I've been in Canada for 33 years. I'm a medical doctor by profession.
These are the diaspora.
Statistics with the Bank of Uganda showing the remittances from the diaspora. Right now, it's over $1 billion per annum. The latest we had was 1.3 billion. So this is good income. It's number 3 next to agricultural products and tourism.
But how is this money spent?
And the feasibility study came out with a number of results. First of all, they discovered that the biggest proportion of remittances from the diaspora are for consumption purposes, and that's about 80%.
This is enough startup capital for any investment. In order to harness these resources, the government deemed it fit to guide the diaspora community in investing back at home. A diaspora department was created under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
The Diaspora project in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, funded by UNDP, started off in 2012. Since then, we've had a number of successful components of the project.
So our role was to create this environment that is conducive for them to contribute even more, such that this can also benefit the country in a more broad manner.
For starters, UNDP redesigned the ministry's website to bridge the gap between the diaspora community and their home country.
They gave us consultants who were able to redesign our website to make it user-friendly and attractive.
A well-packaged compendium of investment and business opportunities was also produced by Uganda Investment Authority with the support from UNDP.
Every page of this business idea is just enough, if one is to read it, to make an investment decision, because it has got all that is required, that is the introduction, the process, what you go through, the production costs, the market analysis, and the profitability of the idea.
As more diaspora people began sharing information, the idea of Home is Best Summit was mooted. Again, UNDP came in handy. And the best place to share these investment opportunities was Gulu district, an area that is fast recovering from the LRA conflict. A drive through this town reveals signs of recovery and resilient people who are determined to put the past behind them. At the summit, a collection of entrepreneurs, academicians, politicians, and people with smart ideas gathered. It is time to unveil investment opportunities through powerful presentations.
Make a decision. If you are going to live in Europe in your retirement, plan accordingly and invest in Europe. If you are going to live in Uganda for your retirement, plan and invest in Uganda appropriately. Projects to invest in, as I said, are many, but we have a blockage in our minds, most of us. Many of you still deal with informal transactions. I want to appeal to you to avoid informal transactions.
I'm glad the Executive Director, Uganda Wildlife Authority, is here. I want to insist that he approves my application so that I'm able to put up another safari lodge at the depot. My application is on your desk.
The other challenge you people have is short-termism. A person comes here for 1 month and thinks they will do everything in that 1 month, including visiting all their relatives. And of course, thank God it's Friday. There is no way you can do serious investment on short term.
Why haven't we set in partnership with these universities specialized research institutes, such as Avocado Institute? Do you know that Uganda produces the best avocado? And do we know the value chain of avocado? How come the Miss Tourism here use products from abroad? Why haven't we, for example, set up the Shea Butter Institute? You see me here, you will never be able to judge and tell me my age. Why? I eat shea butter. I dress shea butter. I use shea butter.
Diaspora involvement in national development will be very useful in providing employment and livelihoods for regions such as northern Uganda, for marginalized and vulnerable groups such as women and youth who need capital, resources, and mentoring.
I can really say I've learned a lot. And this is the best summit here in Gulu that I've ever been on. I sat down and I listened, and I feel like I've got all my questions answered. So I'm so grateful for UIA, for UNDP, and what you have done to make this thing possible. It is now our responsibility to build up our nation, to build up Africa. Africa is on the move, and we are missing out when we are abroad.
And the message starts to sink in. Bank of Uganda comes in to explain the primary dealer's shared gateway, an online platform to invest in government securities.
So the approach that we've used is to first of all attract the diaspora into investing in the usual government of Uganda securities. As they invest, we'll start monitoring them. As we monitor them and we see how much money they're investing, when they get to a point where there's a critical mass, then we'll move on to phase 2, which is having a normal local government of Uganda securities with a diaspora component.
The Bank of Uganda has been very instrumental with the security bonds. We have made them in Sweden, and I'm glad you have also made them in Gulu. Uganda Investment Authority has been very, very informative, educative, and it gave us a spectrum that you get all the information you need. You can walk through the offices without any bureaucracy.
Out of the summit, potential investors have been created.
We need around 300 acres of land to begin with. We want to plant trees. The idea is to plant trees so we can start what we call a paper and pulp factory. Now we have got the technical advice and consultants in Sweden who want to work with us, and we're looking forward to work with the UIA, Uganda Investment Authority, and the government to see that we can procure land and invest.
The fruits of this project can be seen among Ugandans who decided to come back home and invest.
6 years ago, they had the first of these things, which was in Gulu. We had it in Gulu for 1 day, then we went back to Kampala. And it was during that meeting that the Vice Chancellor of Gulu University presented and said that Gulu University had land, but they're looking for investors to put up student hostels for the university. I started construction within 6 months of the agreement. 2 years later, the hostel was complete. It opened in August of 2013. I have 68 rooms on 4 floors. There are about 200 students staying there and planning to expand, So I plan to build another block maybe in another 2 years' time.
I was in the US, specifically in California, until I decided that I should actually be an investor myself as opposed to facilitating others to be investors. I'm the managing director of Paragon Hospital, a leading private hospital in Kampala. I'm also the managing director of Paragon Fertility Center, a sister hospital establishment which looks at fertility treatment. I'm the managing director and owner of Heritage Safari Lodge. This is a new safari lodge that we have just commissioned in Masishon Falls National Park. I'm also the managing director of Pagoda Guest House, which is in Gulu. Those are projects that are now commissioned, active, and running.
Having worked in the UK, I've built up a skill base which has helped me to come and do something which I think there was a gap. We are the only Ugandans who are selling clean cooking gas out of the so many companies in the country. Whoever thought that a toilet, somebody would ever cook food using toilet energy? So, which means that anything in Uganda can sell. Okay, I know. Like in 2010, we had only 45 customers. From January to December, 45 customers. But right now, we're proud ourselves of having 6,000 customers. 2 people working for the company, that's 2010. But right now, we have around 35 people who are directly benefiting from this business.
Besides investments, the diaspora would like to participate in the social and political arena of their country.
I would strongly recommend that Electoral Commission does consider that idea of online voting.
I think the political process has to agree on that, and we hope that other countries are doing it and can do it. And it's part of the ongoing of the development and implementation of diaspora policy.
To that effect, UNDP facilitated the process of drafting the National Diaspora Policy, which is before Cabinet.
Once this policy is approved at the appropriate level, they should be able to take it forward. They should put in place mechanisms for actually rolling out the policy, seeing that the policy provisions are implemented.
The Foreign Policy Review, which looks at Uganda's relation with the rest of the world, was also completed.
We have embarked on Foreign Policy Review of Foreign Affairs, including the focus on the role of the diaspora in development. That foreign policy document is ready with the foreign policy framework and the draft foreign policy.
The Diaspora Resource Mobilization and Utilization Project is a vehicle of change that has created successful investors to take Uganda to another level of development.
The environment currently is better enabled. There is an institutional arrangement at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. There is a compendium of investment that can give them direction on where to invest in the country.
However, there are still some challenges that need to be addressed.
In 2012, when we bid for a job, lost it, the person who won the contract I thought was somebody more capable than us. His biggest asset was that he knew he had friends there.
People whom we spoke to, they said, we told you. We said that there's a lot of corruption in Uganda. You will lose your money. And indeed, we lost it. But we didn't give up because we had now started understanding how it works.
The rate at which the world is developing, whose responsibility is it to develop Uganda?
I believe that we Ugandans in diaspora, it is our responsibility to build up our country, Uganda.
Through all the forums that we are having with them, we shall also endeavor to reach out to the diaspora, but we would really like to interest them to come back home and invest.